This happened in Guadalupe, Nuevo León. If you listen to the stories and imagine them like a movie in your brain, this one's gonna mess you up. It's gonna mess you up. This guy says that ever since he could remember, his mom was really strict and really hard on him and his siblings. He says he doesn't judge her and doesn't fault her for anything because he knows that her upbringing was also very hard. However, he says that he would remember when his mom would force him to go to sleep in his bedroom by himself, telling him, you need to be a man, this is what men do, and that he has no reason to be afraid, he needs to be a man. Mind you, he was only 7 years old. He admits that he never mentioned or told his mom that he was scared to sleep by himself, but he indeed was. Anytime he would try to go to sleep in his bedroom by himself, anytime his head would hit that pillow, he would hear sounds like if they were coming from underneath his bed. And they were always coming from underneath his bed. Every night it was the same thing, but he never had the courage to look under his bed to see what that sound was. And of course, when he finally grew that courage to tell his parents what was going on, they did not believe him. They would literally force him to sleep in that bed even after he was telling them what was going on in his bedroom. He explains that with time, things didn't get better, they just became weirder and weirder. Every morning when he would wake up, his parents would be questioning him and asking him why he would get out of bed at 3 in the morning and go to the first floor. That there on the first floor, he would sit on the ground and he would be having conversations with someone. Several times the dad would say that he would go to the first floor, grab him, put him back to bed, and he went right back to sleep, but he didn't remember any of this. He just remembers going to sleep the entire night. And it was only then where his parents finally were suspecting that something else was going on. It was only then when you guys were scared, when you were like, okay, something's happening, not when he told you. I'm not a parent, but if I had a kid and they come up to me, they were like, oh, something's there. Why are you telling me for? I'm scared too. You're gonna stay in my bed and we're not gonna go investigate. Fuck that. Shit, we might even sleep in the car, because what the fuck? So time would go on and it was around January, and he remembers because he says that it was cold at the time. And it was in that night where his parents were like, tonight we're all gonna sleep in the same bed. Wonder why? Obviously he was excited because he never wanted to sleep by himself. When he goes into his parents' bedroom, he says that he chose a spot to sleep where he felt safe. So he chose the spot where the bed hit the wall. So they all laid down to go to sleep, and he said that it had been hours and he couldn't fall asleep. He says that whenever he would try to go to sleep, he would do the same thing every night, which is what I do too. He would cover himself with the blanket from head to toe, except for his nose, so that he could breathe in fresh air. All of a sudden, he started to feel hair brushing across his nose. It brushed it one time, and then another, and he didn't really care because his sister was sleeping next to him, so he thought, oh, it's my sister's hair that's brushing against my nose. When the hair brushed up against his nose again, he said that he regrets doing this, but he opened his eyes and uncovered them from the blanket, and that is where he saw her. It was a lady that was watching him close to his face. He says that she was hanging upside down from the fucking wall. He thought he was laying down where he felt safe. That lady was holding onto the wall upside down, and the reason why the hair was brushing up against his nose is because obviously her hair was hanging down from her on the wall. I told you not to imagine this in your head. Oh my god, I have chills. He explains that he could see her with detail. Her hands were black, dirty, and that even in her nails were dirt and stuff in them. The only thing he couldn't see was her face, because all the hair was, oh my god, I just thought of the ring. All the hair was in her face. I need to relax, calm down. The worst part was that he said she was rocking, which is why the hair was gracing his nose. She was holding onto the wall, hair down, rocking. I need to chill. He was obviously terrified, and what he did was completely cover himself from head to toe with the blanket. Blankets save you. There are shields, okay? And he literally got right close to his sister. He was cuddling, hugging her because he was so scared. He was the only thing I could think of was that the only thing that separated me from that lady was the blanket. And even then, he could still hear this thing breathing above him. He said that he heard when his dad got up to go to the restroom, and he could tell that the sound of the dad getting up made this woman just go away, because he stopped hearing her breathing or being above him. Somehow he says he managed to fall asleep even if it was for a couple of hours. He was finally able to calm down when he started to see the sun come in, because he knew his parents were about to wake up and get ready for the day. day. He explains that that house always had this weird vibes ever since they got it, and even the way that his parents bought the house was really strange. There's so many other stories that he shares about this house, so let me know if you want to hear them because they don't get any less scary. Like, it's crazy. However, I keep going on. This is gonna be like a 20-minute video, and some of you guys are like, 20 minutes is so long, and then some of you are like, oh my god, make them longer. Who do I please? Let me know if you want to hear more about this guy's experience in that house because it definitely gets really fucking weird.